Oh yeah. Nice.
Hey, this is Tony with Salt Strong, and in this video I wanted to share a tip when it comes to assessing the water in an area that you may be fishing. There was one thing that I found to help me locate fish, and it really has to be calm water. You know, it can't be a windy area, it has to be a calm, wind protected area, because what you're going to find is that if fish are feeding in a certain area, if they're hitting bait on the surface, you're going to see a lot of bubbles on the surface. So you might see a really slicked out calm spot, and then you're going to notice some random bubbles maybe up against the shoreline or even out in the middle if the fish are out there. That will give you a good idea of where those fish are at, and then you slowly want to approach that area and start casting. And if you don't happen to get your lure to cross paths with the fish that may be there, you may have to start skipping under the trees. Usually those fish will hide underneath those trees and then shoot out, hit a bait, and then dart right back into the trees. So where you actually see the bubbles themselves may not give away the exact location of those fish, but it will give you a better idea of the general area that those fish are in. So like we talk about the 90-10 rule, you'll have a big open body of water, and then in one little spot you may see a bunch of bubbles where the water has been disturbed because of those fish going through there and attacking bait. So I have some on the water footage that I want to show you. I was fishing with Z-Man Scented Paddler Z on a 3/0 1/8 ounce Mustad grip pin hook. These hooks work really well for Z-Man baits, and this is in the Slam Shady color. You can use a 4-inch, a 5-inch. I really like sight casting with these because when they hit the water, the tail flutters very nicely as it falls. So it gives good action as soon as it hits the water. You don't even have to do anything, and it will just flutter down to the bottom and get the attention of those fish. And I was also testing out a new reel new to me reel. This is the Daiwa Procyon. This is a 2500, and very pleased with it. It casts super smooth. It reels super smooth, has a nice smooth drag. So overall, very impressed with this reel so far. Used it all morning, caught some nice fish with it. So let's go ahead and switch over to the on the water footage, and I'll show you just exactly what I'm talking about with the bubbles on the surface of the water and some reasons why those bubbles occur, and also catching the fish. So first, let me show you what I'm talking about when it comes to these bubbles. As you can see in this image here, this is a screenshot of when I was on the water. You notice these bubbles here. You notice it's a flat, calm area. You don't really see any bubbles out anywhere except for right here. That's because the water was disturbed from a fish splashing around. When you see a mullet jump, you don't see too many bubbles, but when a fish strikes a bait near the surface or on the surface, or they splash their tail, kick their tail really hard and splash a lot of water, it's going to aerate that area and cause these bubbles to form. Now, how many bubbles you see can also determine, how long it's been since a fish has been in that spot. So if the bubbles are pretty dispersed, as you can see right here, they're pretty spread out, that means more time has passed since that fish hit the surface of the water right there. So you want to keep that in mind. If the bubbles are more concentrated, they're thicker, that means the fish was there not too long ago. So definitely put that into consideration when you're trying to figure out how long has it been since a fish disturbed the water right there. Also, another reason why these bubbles will form, especially if you're fishing in a muddy area, is if a fish darts off very quickly, it gets spooked, or it's chasing bait on the bottom like a crab or something like that. These bubbles will form because they're disturbing the mud on the bottom, and that mud actually traps air. So when that mud is disturbed, it's now releasing that air up to the surface, causing these bubbles to form. So that's why it's really important to pay attention to what's on the surface of the water in an area you're fishing, especially if you're fishing flat, calm waters like this. So we're always talking about the 3 B's. Look for birds, look for bait, look for boils. I would probably also add in there to look for bubbles, because those bubbles are going to be a dead giveaway of active feeding fish.
So one thing I noticed up here, there's a lot of bubbles right there. That usually means that a fish was chasing bait. I'm gonna go check that out. I'm gonna make some casts where all these bubbles are here, see if there's anybody home.
So like I mentioned earlier, you don't want to charge into the spot and possibly spook those fish because they might have swam closer to you. You don't really know exactly where they're at, so make casts as you make your way up to the spot.
in here are those mullet. Oh yeah. Nice. Nice fish.
And again, you can see those bubbles there from that redfish that has disturbed the bottom up and been splashing on the surface. Usually when you see mullet take off in an area like this, you're just going to see the mud blow up, and you're really not going to see those bubbles as much.
I knew there were some fish there. You see bubbles like this. Means they're feeding on something. It's a solid red. Nice fish. Let's see, we got him on the Paddler Z, the 4-inch. Solid red.
So lures, tackle, gear, it's all very important to have. That's why we do have a shop page with all these products. You know, you can get the Paddler Z, the Mustad grip pins, the Daiwa Procyon, rods, reels, line, lures, hooks, you name it, on our shop page. But what's going to be most important is actually being in an area with active feeding fish. So if you need help figuring out those trends, you know, figuring out what types of areas fish are going to be in depending on the time of year, time of day, also tides, different moon phases, we can help you out with that in the Salt Strong Insider Club, where we have a very helpful community of over 20,000 anglers right now. And also we get in there, answer questions, and also you see actual on the water reports. You'll see exactly where we're fishing. We're going to show you a satellite image of where we're fishing, what we're using, and you're basically in the boat with us or in the kayak with us as we show you exactly what we're doing on the water. So definitely be sure to check that out at saltstrong.com. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Also, I'd like to know your feedback if you have any additional tips when it comes to assessing the water in an area to locate fish. Definitely let us know down below. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. If you're new to Salt Strong, just know that we're the best online fishing club in America because we actually guarantee that you'll catch more fish while saving time and also money on the tackle you need. We do this through premium education, our exclusive insider fishing community, and huge discounts on the best tackle for saltwater anglers. To learn more, go to saltstrong.com. Otherwise, we hope to see you again soon.